Hey there, movie buffs! Welcome back to our channel. Today, we've got something special for you. A countdown of the top 10 moments when actors weren't acting. That's right, moments when the line between fiction and reality blurred, and genuine emotions took center stage. Without further ado, let's dive into the list. Number 10. Inglorious Bastards Strangle Scene.
Lassen Sie mich Ihren Fuß sehen.
Bitte?
Legen Sie Ihren Fuß auf meinen Schoß.
In Inglorious Bastards, Diane Kruger's character is choked to death by Hans Landa, a cunning and vicious SS commander. Director Quentin Tarantino determined that Kruger needed to be choked for real on camera in order to sell the scene, which includes a long close-up of Kruger's face, and provide an accurate representation of what it would be like to be strangled. He first checked with Kruger and said that he didn't want the moment to appear phony. Tarantino put his own hand on her neck and executed the deed while the camera filmed her pained close-up. Number 9. Wolf of Wall Street Matthew McConaughey, the chest-beating ritual is his own. While discussing Wall Street with his young protege, McConaughey begins thumping his chest and humming and asks that Belfort join him in the bizarre practice. While the scenario fits well with the film's silliness, the ritual was inspired by McConaughey himself. As he continued to teach his young pupil about Wall Street, McConaughey came up with the idea on the spot to encourage DiCaprio to do the ritual as well. That final take with the chest beating was the one that made it into the film. Number 8. Back Harness, The Exorcist, 1973.
Jesus, fuck you! Jesus, fuck you! Man, fuck you!
The Exorcist exhibit a lot of extremely authentic reactions. One came from Jason Miller, who had a very real reaction to getting a face full of pea soup.
Me!
In another scene, a possessed Regan McNeil is flailing around in her bed, which was supposed to be safe. However, the harness that held star Linda Blair to the bed had frayed lacing, because the damaged harness shattered her lower spine. Her reaction in the scene was really real, not to mention the back injuries Ellen Burstyn sustained on the set. Number 7. The Clock Tower Project A, 1983. Project A is a cult classic in Jackie Chan's illustrious action repertoire. It also includes one of the icon's most daring acts. A reckless fall from a clock tower becomes legend in this town. Thanks to a tiny bit of reality, Chan took not one, not two, but 3 takes of this scene, in which he crashes through 2 canopies on his way to the earth. The final results on television also look bad, and that's because they are. The impact you see on video nearly breaks Chan's neck, since he lands in a position that humans aren't designed to land. It's incredible that he's still able to deliver dialogue after this stunt. Number 6. Goodwill Hunting, 1997 movie scene.
She had all sorts of wonderful little idiosyncrasies. She used to fart in her sleep. I'm sorry I shared that with you.
Matt Damon's main character discusses a recent date in an emotional sequence in Goodwill Hunting. Dr. Maguire, Robin Williams, tells a story about how his wife used to fart in her sleep while telling his shrink that he isn't sure if he wants to see the girl again. Damon and Williams both burst out laughing as Williams continues to speak about his late spouse. Williams entirely invented the film's notable moment and turning point. There was no mention of farting in the script, thus Damon's laughter in response to Williams' anecdote was completely genuine. Number 5. Midnight Cowboy, 1969. I'm Walkin' Here. Midnight Cowboy was made on a shoestring budget. While the finished product is excellent, the cast and crew had to make sacrifices in order to complete the picture on time and under budget.
Hey! I'm walking here! I'm walking here! Up yours, you son of a bitch! You don't talk to me that way! Get out of here!
The film simply did not have the budget to close down 6th Avenue in New York and fill it with extras for the iconic sequence in which Dustin Hoffman and Jon Voight stroll down it. Instead, the producers chose to shoot the action as it unfolded on the street. The actors wore radio microphones and were filmed with covered cameras. To keep the conversation moving, they had to try to time their comments with the signals on the street. While the actors believed they had the timing perfect, a cab tried to run the light during one take, prompting Hoffman to yell, "Hey, I'm walking here." His famous line was a result of genuine anger and frustration, as well as a bit of fear, since the cab almost ran him and his co-star over. Number 4. Chest waxing. Andy Stitzer's Steve Carell co-workers discover in the 40-year-old virgin that he has never gone all the way. As a result of this shocking revelation, they embarked on a mission to assist him in eventually losing his virginity. Unfortunately for Stitzer, that excursion requires him to wax his chest. Carell consented to have his chest waxed for real in order to make the scene more authentic. His screams of agony and pain were genuine, as was the blood on his chest. The words, such as Kelly Clarkson, were invented on the fly, with bursts of bodily response and humorous impulse firing simultaneously. While Carell desired a truly humorous effect for the film, the chest waxing may have been too much for him.
Oh, Mika, you should burn in hell! Okay, all right, no, seriously, I think I'm done. Ooh, I think we're done. I think that's good. Ooh, you know what, guys? This is not a good look for me!
You look like a man-o'-lantern.
Thank you very much.
Number 3. Die Hard, 1988. Happy Trails, Hans Scene. Alan Rickman's character Hans Gruber falls to his death from Nakatomi Plaza near the end of Die Hard. The film's director used a nasty trick on Rickman to make Gruber look truly terrified. Rickman was told by director John McTiernan that he would be fired on the count of 3. McTiernan and his team, on the other hand, privately agreed to dump him on 1. Rickman's expression was genuine shock and horror because he wasn't expecting the plummet so quickly. Rickman wasn't a big admirer of the technique, but his astonished expression made it into the final cut and became one of the film's most memorable images. Number 2. Door-breaking scene in The Shining.
Here's Johnny!
If this is to be believed, all one needs to do to witness Stanley Kubrick's greatness is glance into Jack Nicholson's tie in The Shining. Kubrick's meticulousness and creativity are not new stories to consider, and the green maze woven into the tie of the recluse writer Johnny formed the major theme of uncertainty and a terrible trap, proving the director's talent once more. The director purposefully isolated and humiliated her in order to elicit a bold response. She was even forced to repeat a take 127 times before succumbing to hysterics, which is a Guinness World Record. In the door-breaking scene, Nicholson broke 60 doors over the span of 3 days to finally reach to the bathroom door. Except for some breaks, during all that time, Duvall was forced by the filmmaker to wait in that room being humiliated, and the final reaction by Duvall was very real. Number 1. Chest buster scene in Alien. Cinema has always attempted to show the escape from routine, the dramatic vacation that is not always present in an otherwise mundane life. A story that begins with a sudden exciting occurrence might develop the plot's conflict and move toward the final resolution at the end. This first departure from routine and the beginning of the battle might be depicted in 2 ways: as suspense or as a surprise, if a certain Alfred Hitchcock is to be believed. Rarely do these 2 extreme extremities collide, and the chest buster sequence in Alien is one example. The scientists and crew are enjoying their dinner and casually speaking in the Nostromo ship when one of them, Kane, begins to convulse. There is suspense in the act because the spectator knows something unpleasant is going to happen based on the prior events, but cannot predict why. It's a scene of shock, terror, and gore when the young xenomorph bursts out of Kane's chest and runs to an unknown area of the ship. Master manipulator Ridley Scott knows the difficulty of bringing genuine terror on the faces of the actors, so he decided not to inform the cast of the technicalities in the scene. The script only reads a line that informs that some alien thing will emerge. The cast was totally unaware of the succeeding events of their meal session, and the terror captured from their face is real. Well, there you have it, folks. Our top 10 moments when actors weren't acting. These instances remind us that sometimes the most powerful performances come from unscripted, genuine moments. Did we miss any of your favorites? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, keep watching, keep loving movies, and keep being entertained.